What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I wanted to talk a little bit about Earthworm Jim, the game for the Intellivison Amico that was, well, let's be honest, for the most part, the most hyped up game. The most hyped up people were about the Intellivison Amico. For a lot of people, it was the only thing they cared about. Earthworm Jim. What's going on with it? What's the status of it? What's it going to be like? When's it coming out? So I wanted to make a video telling you guys basically everything Tommy told me. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell for notifications so you do not miss an upload. This has turned into like an all things Amico channel. I didn't ever intend that, but at the same time, I enjoy talking about it. And it's what people are watching right now. Like, I made a video talking about a debut in the metaverse for the GameStop movie I'm in, and it just fell flat on its face. I'm like, that's interesting stuff, but no one's searching it. Welcome to the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, making a video here talking about Earthworm Jim 4. I believe that's the one we're on. 1 and 2 on the Super Nintendo and Genesis. 3D on the Nintendo 64. And a bunch of like minor Earthworm Jim stuff here and there, but no official games in the lineage outside of like Game Boy and Game Gear type stuff. So Earthworm Jim 4, that's where we're at. Debuted, what was it, August 2020? We're approaching 2 years from the reveal of the teaser trailer. And here's where I should have known better. There's like, I'm going through my mind right now on everything I talked to Tommy about and things I should have questioned more, things I should have asked more questions about. Red flags, to just sum it up in 2 words. A red flag with the Earthworm Jim situation, and there were plenty, was, let's start with one of them. When Tommy was unsure of what the game was even going to be like, there were some interviews of him saying how it's going to be a party game, and then other interviews where he clarified saying, no, it's going to be just like Earthworm Jim. And then other interviews where he's like, well, they're still working out the details on it. You could never nail down like what it was he was actually focusing on with the game. And that's concerning in its own right. But then when I privately talked to Tommy about this, I would question him about it. I'd be like, look, Earthworm Jim is the game. It is the potential system seller. And Tommy's like, well, no, we're looking for the families, you know, the moms and grandmas and the people that are going to, you know, this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, right. But Earthworm Jim, why would it be coming to this console that's supposed to be family friendly? And you're looking at Earthworm Jim, the previous games, and he's got a blaster that just blows the shit out of everything. So it's not really a family-friendly game from that perspective, especially in perspective of what Tommy had said in the past, how they're not going to have like Contra games and stuff because that involves shooting, but then they also said they could replace stuff with squirt guns. So it's just a lot of misguided information, double talk, double speak. He could never figure out what he wanted to do with the game. And then I saw the teaser trailer, which literally gave zero insight to what people could expect. And come to find out later, that's all they had for the game. Huge red flag. There was no world built, no levels, nothing created, no plan on what to do with it. It was literally just a 20-second, if that, of Earthworm Jim on a beach walking back and forth. That's it. And he exits stage right, never to be seen again. And usually, I mean, outside of Metroid Prime 4, usually, and Breath of the Wild 2, gigantic AAA titles, so keep that in mind too. But usually when there's a teaser, and Metroid Prime 4 didn't even have a teaser, it just had the logo. When there's a teaser trailer, the game at least had started development. This had none of that. There was an opening screen of him walking back and forth. And the thing that's concerning about that is, I mean, just being real about it, it just, looking back in hindsight, it strikes me as desperation to prop up a facade to get more investor money to this project. If you don't actually have a game created, you're just selling ideas to people, but implying the underlying, tone is that when there's a teaser, it means the game's being worked on. But in this case, it wasn't. And that was a big red flag. Again, talking to Tommy, I was like, you need to stop everything you're doing and put all attention on Earthworm Jim 4 and have this game launch with the console. Like, that would be the killer app, literally, that would sell the systems. It would be a system seller for a ton of people in the retro game community. And yeah, obviously it has nothing to do with Intellivision, but I mean, who cares? Who cares? It's like you're trying to sell a game console. So I said this to Tommy. He's like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be something? That'd be cool, but we're nowhere near ready with that game. We're so far along in development of everything else. We're not gonna stop those and start on Earthworm Jim 4. So by that logic, they literally had zero intention of getting this game out anytime soon. And that's giving them a little bit too much credit, but we'll give the credit. We'll trust in Tommy and that this game was going to be coming out eventually. But I think realistically, the more we look at the Intellivison Amico, none of this was coming to fruition. It was all just selling promises, empty promises, lies. None of this was anything. But the fact that they went forward and showed that trailer at E3, just in hindsight, especially Captain Hindsight here, it puts in perspective everything of what the Intellivision was trying to do, and that is sell the dream and worry about the problem afterwards. After you sell it to people, get the money and work on the stuff after you get the money. And I mean, there's something to be said for that. Assuming this was not a scam, that was the way they were going about it. But then they got the money and didn't work on it. So I'm left here just wondering, why would they show this stuff, get the money, not work on it, and not make the consoles? I know I'm kind of going off the rails here, but the whole Earthworm Jim 4 thing, it's such a red flag for the console that all of us should have seen. But I think we were just so enamored by the idea of more retro in our lives coming back to life and reimagining, revisiting what we grew up with back in the day, and having the ability to play it on a modern-ish console was exciting. At least to me it was. So when I reached out to Tommy and asked him about that and trying to make it a launch game for the console, it was immediately shot down. And granted, this was 2 years ago. So I don't know if they're any further along on it, but based off the current situation, I would imagine they're not. And that's really sad if that's the case, because investors like me were sold on the idea of stuff that was happening and coming down the road eventually that realistically had no road to progress. It was an idea that was being peddled to get more investors. That's Earthworm Jim 4 in a nutshell. Does that mean it can't come out? No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there were so many red flags along the way, and now we see the dire situation that the Intellivision company is in right now, with zero progress on what should have been a flagship game turned into a red flag. Multiple red flags with Earthworm Jim 4. So I had multiple conversations with Tommy about it, and he always kind of just brushed it away. Like it was never important to him. I found that interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys. Give you some more insight to what I was thinking as I was in communication with Tommy along the way. I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.